I don't know. Do you have anything?
My question is gonna be long drawn. Like,
What is your question, at least, so that we can know?
well, the question is gonna be the culture, like our culture. Do you think there's a culture shift in terms of like the young men and the young women, in terms of like adapting to the modern day society and being in the U.S.? Do you think that is that one of the like catalysts that's making young people now want to get married, and also the career path that you guys are talking about is also a big issue in our culture because people believe that they tends to like focus on a career than thinking about being married and having a husband, having a the family. They like, okay, a lot of time I hear that I'm not getting married. Hell no, no, I'm gonna go get a career, whatever. If somebody come, okay, come. Like they don't prioritize it. That's one. And two, this is gonna be funny. Do you believe that the women here, men too, but for majority of the women, like the people that are fresh off the boat, right? Some of like a lot of them are looking to get married for whatever reason, But I just say that's not the case. Do you think that they should be given a chance? Like the people that's been here, yeah, like yeah, correct. Like the Nicaraguans, you can say it. I'm not saying people that are in bad shape. Some of them are, but they're actually looking for something genuine. Do you think they should be given a chance to at least meet someone
Okay.
to be with?
So the first question
Culture shift.
was the culture shift. I honestly
Is it
don't,
good or bad too? Is the shift good or bad?
I don't think the shift is bad. I think, funny enough, I don't think it's actually just a culture shift from like Guineans and things like that. I think
The
as
world.
society as a whole, you're seeing more women putting an emphasis to their career, to them being independent and things like that. Because at the end of the day, you being independent and you don't have to rely, like it's not necessarily a bad thing to rely on a man, but you can rely on yourself to take care of yourself. And I think so people are focusing on that first and then saying, okay, then when I meet somebody, then it's like the total package. I don't necessarily think it's a bad thing, just because we've seen even to this day what happens to some women who are married, right? But
Yeah.
then don't have a career, and they're relying 100% financially on a man, right? A lot of times it works out when you have a great husband, but then there are times where it doesn't work out because you're being maltreated. There is financial abuse, and then what do, right? And because like if you're on social media, the amount of time I literally just came across a video of a woman who was talking about how she's been married. She had five kids back to back, and I think she's pregnant with the sixth one.
Hey.
And her husband literally, she's a stay-at-home mom, and her husband literally is like, oh, I don't want to be married anymore, and he's left her, and she got to figure it out.
Oh, goodness.
That's crazy.
So things like that is why I think more young women are like looking at that and are trying to learn.
But that's an anomaly that don't usually happen a lot.
Yeah, but it happens a lot more than we think, and I think it's because it's happening more. And social media is this platform that now people like.
see.
That's
go
true, that's
into-
true.
Like if you go into social media, like I've come across so many of these stories that I'm
Yeah.
like, whoa, what the hell is going on with things like this? Because I like if you had asked me like a year ago, I probably would have been like, yeah, that don't happen so much so often. But this past year, I've came across so many videos of similar situations, right? So I think people are seeing, like girls are seeing that, and they're like worried about what does their future look like. And I think it's okay for them to worry about their career, where they could be. So I don't think necessarily the culture shift is bad, but that's a
Okay.
everybody will feel different
Yeah.
about that.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say it's a bad thing, but I also think there's a culture shift as far as the definition of what a man is and a woman is type of thing. No, like the roles, right, and stuff like that. I do understand getting my mother always taught us, hey, have your own. Have your own, no matter what, have your own. And yeah, we all have our own, but we also need to understand, as a man being your spouse, what his role is, and also be able to allow him to be the man of the house type of thing, and for him also to understand what your role is, and for him to allow you to do your role and carry you too. So I think that's where the shift is sometimes, and I don't think it's a bad thing, because I've always been taught to have my own.
Yeah.
It's not new to me,
Yeah.
right? I always been taught to have my own. So I think the shift comes in the definition of who
Yeah.
does what or what you're supposed to let who do.
What about you? What do you think?
I think I don't necessarily think it's a bad thing, but I think there are extremes. There are people who make it like to the extreme. Like I think it's something where I think it would be good for it to be concurrent, like at the same time. If you can, as you're working on yourself, leave room and have it open to meet that person, because because like at the end of the day, like you don't want a whole bunch of girls kind of growing up and thinking like this in their mindset and then completely putting something off and not even entertaining it. And then when they kind of get their head up and realize it may be too late, or they may like, okay, now I'm ready to meet someone, but then you don't for like a long time. And then now you also then feel the pressure because biological clock is not like a fake thing. It's a real thing, and obviously there's technology and there's all this other stuff, but it is something that is real. And so, and then you also don't want to rush and you end up rushing into the wrong marriage or with a wrong partner because you feel like you're running out of time. So that's one thing I would say is like, at least being open-minded and like, entertaining different things as they come while still focusing on yourself. Because I agree with what you're saying in that, like, there's a sense of like confidence that you have in your own shoes when you're able to like fend for yourself. Like, especially as a woman, and if you have kids and all this other stuff, there's a sense of like confidence. And then that confidence even comes as you're running your household and you don't feel resentment. And some of the resentment that you guys were talking about of like, not being able to feeling like what you could have accomplished was kind of cut off from under you and just halted, I agree. So
What was the second part?
It was do you think those Nicaraguans deserve a chance? To
like Americans, you're saying because some people here that are here might think that like what
they're fresh off the boat. 1, 2, meaning that they haven't caught up yet. Like our mind state is not the same. It's like you still living like you're back home. You still have those values, and I don't really value those values like that anymore.
It depends on that person's mindset.
It depends on the person, because I actually, you know what? One thing I will say, I think people should be open, because I have seen like some of the Nicaraguans that recently like came. I've seen like I know some people who are on the extreme side of in terms of their views, and I've seen some that are I'm shocked like. Extremely open, like very much like people who are just like my husband. So I would say like think people should be open to meeting them, no matter like where they are in terms of like they just came here. Be open, because you really never know who you meet in these instances.
That's true.
I agree.
Because even on our last podcast we were talking about this. But the funny enough, a lot of women who say I don't want to be with Mama do with the taxi. That's just a fact.
Here's what I would say with that. I do think that like I agree with being open. I agree with meeting different people and understanding who they are. I do agree I do understand where the hesitation may come from some people, because it might seem that like, because it is like what I started with is the multicultural experience. It is different, and like there may be certain things that you don't align with because of the fact that like you may take on and you have a blended culture, but that doesn't mean that they won't adapt or they don't know or etc. And to your point, like there may be people who, despite growing up in a conservative environment, are actually open-minded and like for example, your father telling the teacher like, no, do not beat my child, in this classroom. So I agree with being open.
That's true.
I also agree with what you're saying. Like where those people may be coming from is they may want someone who's fully established. Then. And that's their prerogative, I guess.
That's true. But if you're saying like someone that has the multicultural experience, you should be diverse, right?
Yeah.
Meaning like if you have that culture, then you should be able to blend in here and here.
Yeah.
So if someone coming from this background, you should automatically understand, okay, I know where you're coming from.
Yeah.
But I have this other experience that you don't even know about. I'm gonna bring you along.
Yeah.
But they're not willing to do that. Also, it's the perspective, like the outlook of it. It's like, you were someone that's fresh off the boat. A lot of times the people, it's funny enough, but that play a part. Oh, like he just fresh off the boat. He don't know. We know someone. He don't like the way. Yeah, like
somebody's fresh off the boat.
Also, because the way they carry themselves,
down on
the way they dress.
there's
way
some
they
people
talk.
that may look down on that
you
because
know-
you're not fully established.
Yeah,
You're not
and-
fully
and
there.
I
It's
think
not-
It's the fully established
The fully
aspect of
established
it.
Auntie, that's I don't agree because a lot of them come in like there's people that work, but I swear to God, if people rather they want people to hear that your husband is corporate than your husband is driving a taxi.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
whole
And that man
fully
driving a taxi probably making
yeah,
more.
The whole
Yeah.
fully established
Yeah, yeah.
aspect of it. So it's this whole mentality of you have to be a button up and have a corporate job to be successful type of thing, and that's not the case.
It's the
Yeah.
title.
That's not the case.
Yeah.
That's just
I mean,
a
It's
title.
a title.
You know, and I always say like people have the right to choose what it is
Yeah.
that
That's
they
true.
want
That's
and
true.
stuff. But I still say be open minded because
Yeah.
things are and be open minded because you just really never know.
Yep.
Like I always say this, like I if I was one of those people that I'm like, oh, like no, like my partner has to, go to college and things like that. My partner didn't end up going to college. Like I didn't marry
Exactly.
somebody who went to college,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like he finished high school and he went straight into working and he didn't finish college.
Mm-hmm.
And that worked like because of the circumstances. He wanted to go to college, he just couldn't.
Yep.
And so that's just what happened.
Yeah.
So if
A lot of us.
And so if I was like, oh no, I'm not marrying someone who did not go to college because of X, Y, and Z, I wouldn't be married right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, be open.
I agree.
Because you
And-
don't know.
Yeah, and
That's
the
my
mama
lesson.
dude with the cab can end up working hard, being driven, and
Yep.
owning a whole bunch of different vehicles and renting it out and all this other stuff and like
Yeah.
actually being an entrepreneur. I feel like sometimes people look down on
No, I
like
agree.
small entrepreneurs.
Yeah. So we can wrap it up now.
Yeah.